If you've been on top of the world one moment with your weight loss, then at the bottom of the ocean the next, you understand how delicate motivation can be. But when it comes to your weight loss journey, you need to stay motivated. Unfortunately, most people are focused on the wrong thing when it comes to motivation. Hi, it's Kara and welcome back to my channel. I work with women to help them lose weight and decrease inflammation in a sustainable way. That means no dieting, counting calories, or needing prepackaged products. In today's video, I'm going to share the secret to staying motivated when it comes to your weight loss. If you want to look and feel your best without having to rely on dieting and haven't subscribed already, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified every single time I put out a new video. Motivation is a tricky thing. You might get motivated after listening to a good pick-me-up song, or maybe after hearing some good news, or maybe you just wake up feeling great. Motivation is hard to depend on though. It's here one moment and gone the next, right? Well, today I'm going to show you how to keep that from happening. I've been an avid runner for the majority of my adult life. It began in college. I started hanging out with a group of friends who had shared a love of running, and it rubbed off on me. I went from hardly being able to run around the block to running marathons. But the thing is, before this, I didn't particularly enjoy running. I actually hated it, and I was not a natural runner. But the love I developed for running allowed me to uncover the secret to helping me become motivated and stay motivated. And it doesn't just apply to running. And you don't have to like running either. Because now, after working with thousands of women, I've seen how these principles even help them to become motivated and stay motivated on their weight loss journey. It's the same thing that compels professional athletes and high performers to persist day after day, even when they're faced with frustration, injury, or setbacks. When it comes to reaching goals, too often people have the idea that motivation is something you hope for, as if it's a stroke of good luck. They wake up hoping for the best, thinking or saying something like, I hope I'm motivated to eat healthy today. But when you depend on all the stars to align and the conditions to be perfect, more often than not, you end up lacking motivation. And when it comes to losing weight, that won't cut it. Instead of crossing your fingers and hoping for motivation, I want to give you 4 foolproof ways to become and stay motivated. Number 1, schedule motivation. I know it sounds strange to schedule motivation, but that's exactly what high achievers do. But what does that look like? You might be asking. Well, before you start typing the word motivation into all the days on your calendar, let me give you an example to help explain. Let's take running a marathon, for example. If you're just getting started with running, you don't just show up on the day of the race and hope you can complete it. You make a plan and you stick to it. You map out the plan that will lead you to success, and then you schedule it. So when you wake up each day, you just do it. I know that sounds overly simplistic, but scheduling it eliminates the guesswork, because when the next day rolls around, you just do it. To translate this into weight loss, you have things you need to schedule to keep you motivated. You can schedule your meal planning to keep you on track each week. This will eliminate the temptation to grab something unhealthy for lunch or to run through the drive-thru on your way home from work. You can schedule your water intake to help develop and maintain healthy hydration. You can also schedule exercise and movement each day. And a bonus tip is to be specific when you're scheduling. If you're meal prepping, don't just say you'll do it on the weekend sometime. Instead, say, I am going to meal prep on Sunday afternoon after lunch. The second way to become motivated and stay motivated is to develop community around your goal. Jim Rohn, the author and motivational speaker, had a famous line I'm sure you're familiar with. He said that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That means their habits rub off on you. And we see this play out in a lot of different ways. For example, if the people you're hanging out with eat junk, you're more than likely to do the same. Sure, you hope to have a positive impact on those around you and that your habits will rub off on them. But more often than not, we rise or fall to the level of those we spend the most time with. So when you're surrounded by like-minded people who are holding us accountable, we are far more likely to succeed in reaching our goals. I kind of like to think of those I'm closest to as my own cheering squad. They build me up and encourage me to do better. But here's the thing, when you don't have someone cheering you on along the way, you undoubtedly fall short. Or worse yet, if you surround yourself with the wrong kind of people, like the ones who want nothing to do with your goals or way of living, they'll drag you down with them. And whatever your health and nutrition goal may be, you're naturally going to be most inspired to reach your goal at the beginning because it's a new goal. The potential is so exciting and you haven't encountered any resistance yet. You're excited to look better and feel better. It's important to be mindful of this. Whether it's an online community, a few close friends, or even your spouse, make sure you have like-minded people around you to just really encourage you along the way. And if you don't have these supportive type of people, go and find them. If you're interested in more tips to keeping you going on your weight loss journey, be sure to join my email. Each week I share a practical tip to help you lose weight and keep it off without dieting, counting calories, or feeling deprived. I'll put the link to join below. Okay, let's look at the third tip, and it's don't overcomplicate it. Tony Robbins once said, complexity is the enemy of execution. But we often gravitate to the exact opposite. We want the option with all the bells and whistles. We overlook the simple, straightforward approach and choose the one that ends up being way more complicated. But what did Tony Robbins mean by that? And how does this apply to motivation? Well, when it comes to achieving anything, whether it's as simple as walking from one place to another or losing 100 pounds, the easiest way to do this is by choosing the way with the least amount of effort, the least obstacles to overcome. Because obstacles make everything more difficult, and it's easy to get overwhelmed, especially at first. So when it comes to your weight loss journey, you want it to be as easy as possible. Sure, a complicated diet plan that requires tracking this and counting that while avoiding X, Y, and Z on certain days of the week might sound like a good plan. But the reality is that it is too complicated and you're going to quit. So what's it look like to simplify a weight loss plan? Well, for starters, think about whether you'll be able to do whatever it is that you're going to do to lose weight indefinitely. You don't want to choose a plan that you won't be able to continue. You need to be able to make a lifestyle out of it. Instead of overwhelming yourself, start with just one change at a time. Maybe that's as simple as drinking water. If you don't normally drink enough water, then start by monitoring your hydration to make sure you're drinking enough each day. And once you have that mastered, move on to your next nutrition habit. This is one of the things I teach in Stuck to Thriving that has led to powerful results for women. You'll be amazed at how these small steps add up to huge results. But you have to be willing to trust the process and be willing to not bite off too much at first. Choose the simple option instead of the complicated one. Now, our fourth and final tip is to encourage yourself. When it comes to weight loss goals, women can be so hard on themselves when they fall short. By falling short, I mean eating a couple too many slices when the family orders pizza over the weekend, or going straight for the cookies and ice cream after a long day at work. After realizing what's happened, they come down on themselves. I am heartbroken when I hear the way some women talk about themselves. The way we talk to ourselves is often worse than we would ever think of speaking to someone else. And for a woman who talks to herself this way, you know what the worst part is? She is the one speaking to herself the most. We all are. We're constantly communicating with ourselves. And I don't mean in some crazy hearing voices in your head kind of way. I just mean we have a constant internal dialogue running throughout the day. And it's either building you up or it's tearing you down. So you need to speak gently. You need to encourage yourself and build yourself up. And you know what? I encourage you to take it a step further. When you catch your reflection in the mirror, say a word of encouragement to yourself. Seriously, think of the way you would speak to your daughter, your sister, or your best friend. You would never want to tear her down. So speak to yourself the same way. You might even go one step further and give yourself a high five in the mirror, just like Mel Robbins suggests. It might sound silly and you'll have to clean your mirrors more often, but this silly practice can be exactly what you need to motivate yourself to keep going. So stop hoping for motivation. It's not a matter of finding the perfect diet or the right song to inspire you through your next workout routine. You can create an indefinite, unlimited supply of motivation by scheduling it into your day. When you put these 4 tips into action, you'll be sure to stay motivated on your weight loss journey. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you catch my simple nutrition tips each week to help you reach your goals and maintain them and build upon them.